Did you know that many successful Asian entrepreneurs consult temples for guidance or hire fortune tellers as business advisors before making major decisions? It might sound absurd or even superstitious, but why they do it? Does it really work? How can the future be predicted? If you believe fortune telling is unscientific, illogical, or even a scam, this video might challenge your perspective. Give me a few minutes and let's break down the underlying logic behind fortune telling. You might think, I create my own future. My efforts determine my destiny. Then why do many top Asian entrepreneurs rely on fortune tellers more than McKinsey consultants? Why are these highly logical and business-savvy individuals willing to invest heavily in mystical guidance? Is fortune telling truly accurate, or is it just a psychological comfort? Today, we'll dissect the hidden logic behind fortune telling and challenge your way of thinking. What is fortune telling? To understand fortune telling, we first need to explore its underlying worldview. The logic behind fortune telling is rooted in metaphysics. The idea that the universe operates from a higher dimensional, all-knowing perspective. If you've seen Interstellar, you might recall how, from a higher dimension, time is not linear but observable. Stepping beyond our three-dimensional perception, time ceases to be a straight path and instead becomes a fluid state where movement is possible in multiple directions. Think of it this way. Imagine watching a group of ants searching for food. You already know there's a donut 20 meters away, but the ants have no idea. They can only act based on their immediate surroundings. Now, if one ant could somehow understand your language and share this information with the others, your foresight would appear as a mysterious phenomenon in their world. This is similar to the role of a fortune teller. Using specific tools, they attempt to interpret higher dimensional information. This is the core principle of fortune telling. It's not about determinism, but rather the translation of higher dimensional insights. A skilled fortune teller won't predict a fixed future, but will provide guidance on possible outcomes. Whether you ultimately reach the donut depends entirely on your actions and choices. Is fortune telling accurate? Before we discuss whether fortune telling is accurate, let's break it down into key components. 1. The omniscience of the universe. Let's revisit our first premise, the existence of an omniscient perspective in the universe. Suppose there truly is an intelligence unrestricted by time, one that can see the past, present, and all possible futures at once. This idea isn't any more far-fetched than some modern quantum mechanics theories. If you completely reject this assumption and believe that human intelligence is the highest and most powerful force in the universe, you might as well stop here and exit this discussion. 2. How do humans receive information from an omniscient source? Great, you're still here. If this omniscient intelligence does exist, how do humans access its knowledge? This is precisely why ancient civilizations developed various divination systems. Tarot, astrology, I Ching, and Zi Wei Dou Shu are all different tools attempting to decode that source of information. The commonality among these systems is that they translate hidden insights into structured, interpretable signals. 3. The interpreter's ability. But here's the catch. Even if we accept the existence of an all-knowing universe and the legitimacy of divination tools, the accuracy of a reading ultimately depends on the interpreter. Some interpreters rely on intuition and inspiration, acting as channels for higher wisdom. Others use deep knowledge and technical expertise to decode divination systems methodically. The accuracy of a reading is often limited by the fortune teller's personal skill, experience, and even cultural background. It's similar to the difference between a data analyst and a gut-feeling investor. A great fortune teller approaches interpretation with rigorous logic and analytical precision. 4. The listener's actions. Just like the ants trying to reach the donut, the key factor in fortune telling isn't just the prediction itself, it's what the listener chooses to do with the information. In other words, the accuracy of a fortune-telling session depends on both the interpreter's skill and the listener's response. How does the fortune teller's message influence your decisions? Do you take action, hesitate, or ignore it completely? Ultimately, fortune-telling isn't about knowing an inevitable future. It's about understanding possibilities and making the best choices accordingly. Why do Eastern entrepreneurs believe in fortune telling? Many successful Eastern entrepreneurs may not publicly promote or even admit that they consult fortune tellers, but trust me, this practice is far more common than you might think. You may wonder, why do so many successful Asian business leaders still turn to fortune telling? 1. Fortune telling as a decision-making tool. I define fortune telling as a decision support tool, much like how Western entrepreneurs rely on data analysis, management consulting, and risk assessment. While Western business culture often emphasizes empirical data and rational analysis, Asian business culture places great importance on timing, location, and human relationships. Fortune telling provides insights into timing, helping entrepreneurs anticipate larger trends and external forces beyond their control. 2. A framework for psychological security. Beyond strategic insights, fortune telling offers psychological security. It provides a structured decision-making framework, allowing entrepreneurs to act with greater confidence. This explains why many successful Eastern entrepreneurs hire fortune tellers as long-term advisors. These experts don't just predict the future, they offer an alternative perspective on life's possibilities. 3. The developer mode analogy. If life were a video game, a skilled fortune teller's advice would be like unlocking the game's developer mode, giving you access to a map of hidden treasures, obstacles, and potential dangers. A fortune teller might highlight opportunities, telling you that you're in a treasure zone where the harder you dig, the more rewards you'll find. They might warn you about risks, advising caution when you're navigating a trap-filled area where standing still is safer than rushing forward. However, you are still the player. If you love the thrill of taking risks, you're free to ignore fortune tellers' warnings and run straight into chaos, but at least you'll do so with awareness. So, is fortune telling really accurate? If you believe that the universe might contain a higher dimensional intelligence beyond human understanding, then the logic behind fortune telling might be worth exploring. Just like many Asian entrepreneurs, you can see it as a decision-making aid rather than an absolute fate determinant. Does this logic make sense to you, or do you have a different perspective? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you're interested in topics like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so we can continue exploring the wisdom of Eastern philosophy together.